Throughout Scripture, God raises up men to lead, fight, prophesy, and govern. But time and again these same men fall, not just by war, pride, or power, but by the influence of women. This isn't a condemnation of women, it's a warning for men. A lesson in discernment, a pattern that begins in Eden and echoes through kings, prophets, and warriors. This is the biblical record of men who were led to do wrong because of women. Adam was the first man, created in God's image, placed in paradise, given authority. But when Eve was deceived by the serpent and ate the fruit, she gave it to Adam. He ate, not because he was tricked, but because he followed her lead. Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree, Adam disobeyed God and sin entered the world. God promised Abraham a son through Sarah, but as time passed, Sarah doubted. She told Abraham to take Hagar, her Egyptian servant. Abraham agreed, and Ishmael was born. But that decision birthed generations of strife. Go, sleep with my slave. Perhaps I can build a family through her. Abraham should have trusted God. Instead, he listened to Sarah over the Lord's promise. After escaping Sodom, Lot lived in a cave with his 2 daughters. Believing no man remained to preserve their family line, the daughters got their father drunk and slept with him on 2 consecutive nights. That night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and lay with him. The result? Moab and Ammon, 2 nations that later opposed Israel. Lot, passive and intoxicated, was manipulated by his own daughters. Samson was set apart by God before birth, a Nazirite with, supernatural strength. But his weakness was women. He fell for Delilah, who repeatedly asked for the secret of his strength. After many refusals, she wore him down. With such nagging, she prodded him day after day until he was sick to death of it. He told her everything. She betrayed him. His strength vanished and he was captured. King David stayed home from battle, a king's first mistake, really. Then he saw Bathsheba bathing. Though she was married, David sent for her, slept with her, and she became pregnant. To cover his sin, he had her husband Uriah killed. But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. His lust led to murder. The sword never left his house. Solomon, the wisest man on earth, loved foreign women, 700 wives, 300 concubines, and they turned his heart. His wives turned his heart after other gods. He built temples to idols, worshipped false gods, and provoked the Lord. His downfall split the kingdom. Ahab was Israel's king, but his wife Jezebel ruled his heart. When Ahab sulked over Naboth's vineyard, Jezebel took matters into her own hands. She wrote letters, framed Naboth, and had him stoned. There was never anyone like Ahab who sold himself to do evil in the eyes of the Lord, urged on by Jezebel, his wife. Ahab followed her wicked counsel, and it brought his destruction. Amnon, son of David, fell in love, or rather lust, with his half-sister Tamar. He became obsessed. His friend Jonadab devised a plan, pretend to be sick and lure her in. Tamar protested, but Amnon forced her. But he refused to listen to her, and since he was stronger than she, he raped her. This act destroyed Tamar's life and led to Amnon's death by the hand of Absalom. Here a woman was not the influencer, but the obsession with her led to destruction. Adonijah, another son of David, once tried to take the throne, but Solomon was crowned instead. Later, he asked Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, to request Abishag the Shunammite, David's former caretaker, as his wife. But Solomon saw through it. This was another power grab. Bathsheba relayed the request. Solomon had him executed. Why do you request Abishag? You might as well request the kingdom for him. Adonijah used a woman as a political move. Bathsheba's request, though perhaps innocent, led to his end. Though not named, the young man in Proverbs chapter 7 is a warning to every man. He lacks judgment and falls into the trap of a seductive woman. With persuasive words she led him astray, like an ox going to the slaughter. The passage ends with death, not immediately but surely, a picture of how seduction leads the simple to destruction. These stories are not about blaming women, they are about calling men to discernment. Every man who fell was responsible for his choice. But in nearly every case, there was a woman whose influence, beauty, or manipulation triggered that fall. Some were bold, like Delilah, others subtle, like Eve. Some were wives, some lovers, some even mothers. The pattern is clear. A man listens to the wrong voice, follows his feelings over God's command, and pays the price. But here's the good news. Adam fell. But Jesus, the second Adam, rose again. David fell but repented and God still used him. Samson fell, but in the end he fulfilled his mission. There is mercy, but there is also warning. To the men watching, guard your heart, test every voice, fear God above all. And to the women, you have power, great influence. Use it for good. Point men to righteousness, not ruin, because in the Bible, the right woman can either build a man or break him.